Hi everybody, this is Andreas, business coach. So today I'm talking to Steve Mills, and he's a marketing consultant, and he runs a company called Croften Limited. So Steve, thanks for seeing me today.
That's my pleasure. Thank you for inviting me.
You are more than welcome. So what we would like to hear from you is really your journey. Tell us where you started, how did you get into marketing, what lay before that, and how did you get into this field?
I got very unusual career history, actually. I used to play table tennis at international level, and being a table tennis player is not quite like being a footballer or a tennis player. You know, it's tough to make enough money. So part of what I did was demonstrations and exhibitions and things like that, and I got involved working for a sports promotion agency. When I came towards the end of my career, I found that, you know, marketing was something that I really enjoyed, so I got involved further with this agency, became the head of marketing, developed the agency into actually the number one sports promotion agency in the UK. Worked with them for many years, and then but probably about 25 years ago now, set up my own marketing business. So I've been doing this for a long time.
You've been doing this for a long time. And how did you start off then? Did you just leave and then said, this is I can do that on my own?
Literally. I developed some really good skills in marketing. I've always believed in, back to my table tennis days, in going and finding the best in the world, who's the best people I could learn from and practice with, and so on and so forth. So when it came to marketing, I thought, right, who's the leading marketing people? I learned a lot from them, and continue to do so today. You know, for me, it's all about, you know, passing on information that I learned from the best in the world.
Right. Okay. And what in particular was it that you think helped step up your business and actually get going? What did you do?
I think probably the biggest thing that I've got is that I'm being a sportsman. I suppose two things. Being a sportsman, number one, you're never satisfied. You're always looking, right, how can I get that edge? Because often in sport, as in business, the difference between winning and losing, to getting that, you know, £50,000 contract, you know, when you're up in a tender situation, the difference between winning and losing is very small. It's just having the edge. And so it is in table tennis. So that would be probably my number one thing. And then the second one would be around measuring what's working and what's not. In sport, it's absolutely vital. You know, someone like, I don't know, Federer will be able to tell you, you know, when he serves wide on the backhand, he wins, you know, 68.2% of his points. You know, so he knows his real numbers. And in business, that again is such an important thing, knowing your financial numbers, your operational, and for me, the sales and marketing numbers of a business, which not one in probably 50 businesses actually really understands what they've got in terms of sales and marketing, what numbers that they're getting.
And in your opinion, what numbers is it they should be looking at?
Well, it depends on the industry and you know, what levels, what, you know, success they're going to get. But the key numbers are, you know, the numbers of sales to start with, their conversion rate. You know, the big picture numbers are how many inquiries, how many sales, how many meetings do they have, how many meetings do they need to have in order to get a sale. And then underneath that, you know, it's things like the number of website visits, the number of LinkedIn contacts, how many posts they do on social media, their email open rates, and so on and so forth. So there's a whole range of numbers that if people can just work on them, A, I suppose, know what they are, B, test and try different things in order to improve those numbers, and therefore get a better return on investment from their sales and marketing.
Well, absolutely, because I always hear the opinion that, you know, marketing is an expense, but actually it isn't an expense until you turn it, you know, into an investment.
It's only an expense if it doesn't work. That's the truth. You know, if you're throwing money at something and it's not working, then you know, it's time to do one or two things. You know, either get rid of it and stop doing it and spend your money in a better way, or work out how you can improve that return on investment. And yet, what I see so many businesses doing, they do things like, well, okay, we'll try Facebook advertising, and they'll set it up without any training whatsoever, and don't really quite understand it, but they can, you know, follow the script on Facebook what to do. They'll try it for a few weeks, it doesn't win any business, and they'll think, well, that's a waste of time, let's go and find something else that doesn't work. And they go and try that for a few more weeks, and that doesn't work, and then eventually they get fed up with this thing called marketing,
and they just
and just basically sit there relying on referral and repeat business, never really maximising the true potential of their business.
And I always find it interesting that most businesses seem to, when times are getting tough, it's usually the marketing budget that gets cut first, which is kind of
it's like
ludicrous, because it's how are you going to bring in business if you're going to cut off the only thing that brings you in business?
Absolutely. It's like saying, right, times are tough, we're not getting enough leads, I know, I'll stop marketing, which is the very thing that's bringing in leads in the first place. It's like the opposite thing. It's like, you know, I don't know, you know, I'm not hungry, so I'll stop eating. It's crackers.
So when you run your business, and for the last 25 years, that's a good time going. What did you find were the biggest challenges for you in your business?
I think one of the biggest challenges is convincing people that I can do what I do. You know, there are a lot of marketing advisors and companies and business advisors around, and I think, you know, one of the keys is it's difficult to know should they utilize Steve's service or a different marketing company. And like all industries, people are at different levels. You know, they have some people are really, you know, at the top level, the world leading experts. Others are, you know, let's say of lesser experience and knowledge and so on and so forth. So I'd say one is distinguishing myself from other marketing people.
It's a bit like creating your own USP. Your own USP
absolutely.
And how do you create that for you? What is your USP?
Well, my USP, I'd say, would be around the quantification side. You know, a lot of people, a lot of marketing agencies, really deep down, don't want to be measured. They don't want people to know that if you spend, you know, they're spending thousands of pounds with this particular agency. They don't want them to know exactly what are they getting from it, and that's really where I start. Without that, I won't work with people. Because they've got to know that for every marketing pound they spend, they're getting 5, 10, 20 pounds back. Because if you were spending a pound and getting 20 back, how often would you like to do that? For me, I do it all day, every day.
Definitely.
And so that I think is a real.
So you are really hot on the numbers. You're really about, you know, getting a return on investment, showing them actually where the money is going. And what's happening
absolutely. And then sort of that's almost like phase one. Phase two for me is then going, right, this is not good enough. Whatever it is, if I'm investing a pound and getting 20 back, I want to know how to get the edge. I want to get a little bit more. How can I get it to 22 to 25?
Like the fine tuning.
Fine tune it, and then I can start cranking that up. If I know that every penny I spend on Facebook advertising, I'm getting 20p back. You know, I just keep investing. I spend £1 million if I get 20 million back. But until and unless I know my numbers, you know, I'm clearly not going to spend that sort of money, because I'd quickly go bankrupt.
Absolutely. So differentiating yourself from the competition was one of them. What else did you found really challenging, or find really challenging?
I think, you know, the time factor. You know, we were chatting before the interview today about time and how difficult that is. And certainly when I first started out, I was finding, you know, I spent all my time delivering the marketing service, working in the business instead of on it. And you know, so and that's still a challenge today. You know, because you get pulled in so many different directions. So I think that one was definitely a big one.
And how do you cope with that today then, with your time?
Well, I'm not sure whether I do, to be honest. No, I do, I'm sure. I try to allocate my time each day. I really plan my day out in depth before I even start my day, so that I know, between these hours and those hours, that's client time when I'm working with them. I've got my meetings in, but I always try and make sure I allocate some time every day for sales and marketing, and so I think that's how I do that. The other things I think that certainly businesses need to focus on are on the sales side. It's great creating leads, but if you're no good at converting those leads into sales, then all those leads is really hard work. You get 1,000 leads and convert 2 of them. There's a whole load of work that's got to go into those 900. So one of the easiest ways I find to grow a business in terms of getting more sales is to improve your conversion rate.
Absolutely, create a sales process.
Create a sales process and be good at selling. I speak to business owners, and I do lots of training in marketing, and I'll say to them, hands up who's done any sales training in the last year, and you get I don't know, out of 20 people, perhaps 2 people.
Raise their hand,
right, are you, rest of you guys not responsible for selling? They go, no, well, we are.
And yet nobody's learned it.
Nobody's done any sales training. I find that absolutely astonishing. I train myself in sales every day.
And what do you do every day to do that?
Well, I'm a big believer in audio. To come in here today, I was listening to a guy called Grant Cardone, who is one of the leading business advisor
10
type
by 10
people.
And all that.
10x in your
10x,
business. So spend my time doing that. So I call it learning in net time, which stands for no extra time.
Right.
It's not as though I have to take an hour out of my business.
It's while you drive.
It's while I'm driving, or when I'm at the gym, or and these days with technology, that's so easy to do.
You can learn wherever you are.
Fantastic.
It doesn't matter. Right. So you learn from audible books. You practice, obviously. What would you say was one of your biggest highlights of your career so far? I mean, 25 years is a humongously long time in business. And what was one of the biggest highlights, do you think, that you came across where this really is great?
Right, 2 really. One, when I'd been going for a very short amount of time, excuse me, and I was asked to do a marketing plan for Oxford University. And that was just awesome, to be writing a marketing plan for such an amazing organisation as Oxford. That was like serious credibility for me,
How did you get that contract then?
Well, I wrote them a letter. I decided to run a seminar at the time for educational establishments to help them with their marketing.
Right.
So I wrote to all the universities in the UK, and they came back to me and said, look, I don't want to go on the seminar, but we need some help with marketing.
Right.
Would you do that? So I did that. And the other thing that I think has been really quite amazing is the time that I spend working abroad and traveling the world, basically again providing sales and marketing training.
So where have you traveled to then with your sales and marketing training?
I've been all over the Middle East, to Abu Dhabi, Doha, Dubai on many occasions, Saudi Arabia, Australia, America, been to Singapore, Thailand, all over the place.
And
really.
You go there to deliver marketing and sales training?
Delivering marketing normally 4, 5, 6 days at a time. I always try and tag a holiday on the end of it to see if I can, see a little bit of the world, and it's just such a great thing to do. It's really cool.
So, what would be your 3 biggest tips for businesses that are struggling with marketing, that want to get a marketing going? I mean, besides hiring you, is there something they can do to actually get this going?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd say number one would be to start measuring. Let's just see where you are to start with. How many leads are you coming into your business? What's your conversion rate? And where are those leads coming from? Let's get at least a basic understanding of your marketing. So that would be number one. Number 2 would be then to go and have a look at each and every element of their marketing and say to themselves, how can we do this better? So if you take something like referral, referral for me is still one of the best marketing opportunities in the world. You know, it's where, when I speak to business owners and I say, where do you get most of your business from? They say, well, it's from word of mouth, from referral. Right, show me your referral marketing plan. And they go, well, I don't really have one, Steve. So how do you win business by referral then? Well, we just sort of do a good job and hope that people will recommend us. Well, that's okay, but there's a whole load of referrals that you're missing out on. If that's you as a business, you know, you're winning an amount of referrals, but if you had a strategy, a plan to actually get more referrals, then you could get 10% more, even 200% more referrals than you're getting right now. So that would be the time. And then go and have a look at everything else. You know, your website. Are your headlines as good as they could be? I'll give you a great example. I see so many websites that have a page called Our Services or About Us. You know, can't you think of a better, more inspiring, you know, motivating headline than Our Services? You know, even if it said marketing services or business advice services, that's probably better than Our Services. And it certainly helps as far as Google's concerned as well, understanding what that page is about. So there's often lots of little things like that that if you improve, you can get them, a much better result.
Absolutely. So what's the next big thing for you? What are you working on?
Now, what I'm working on at the moment is something I call my Result Accelerator program. And the idea being is that one of the most difficult parts of any business, I think, is when businesses start. And the idea of the program is to get them from startup or from being, you know, a business that's just about earning a living. You know, they're not really a business, they're more of
incubator
a job.
kind of.
They've got a job and they're earning 20,000, 30,000 a year. And it's to get over that first hump, which is earning 100 grand. I think, you know, you got several keys. You get to 100 grand, then you get to 1 million, then you get to 10, and then to 100 perhaps. You know, depending on how big you want your business to be, but certainly to 100 grand. So it's a 9-month program to help businesses from a sales and marketing point of view to get to that, to get enough sales to hit £100,000 in turnover.
Okay, and when is it going to start?
Well, it's sort of started now. I work with people on a one-to-one basis. They get one-to-one time with me. They get group time with me. And what I've also done is developed an online program. So they can learn from me literally 24/7 via the internet, via videos and worksheets and so on and so forth. So again, that's a real modern way of learning. You know? Absolutely. Learning online.
And is there anywhere that you are giving a seminar or anything? Is there any events coming up that you are participating in or speaking at? Or?
Yeah. I'm running a course here in Portsmouth on the 28th of July on digital marketing to get people a better understanding of that, because I think that's again a real key area for businesses because of the way it constantly changes. You know, digital marketing probably by the 28th of July will have changed from what it is now, because there'll be something come up new, and so keeping up to date is a real challenge for people. And you know, I hear so often people say to me things like, well, you know, I'm on LinkedIn, Steve, but I don't really do very much, and to be honest, I don't really understand it, or I don't understand Google or Facebook or, you know, many of the other
social media
sort of
platforms,
social media and digital marketing things. So, and that's just costing them money. You know, if you don't understand it, they're probably not winning business from it, and therefore they're losing out.
Absolutely. So they need to find the time to learn about it and understand it.
Absolutely.
Okay, great. Well, Steve, it's been a pleasure speaking to you.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you, Andreas. It's been great.
And for you guys out there, remember what Steve said about, you know, there is no downtime. You can learn skills that you don't have at the moment, you know, by listening to audiobooks. You can do that while you drive in the car, when you're in the gym, you can do that anywhere. But the point here is really start learning about the stuff you don't know about to get better at it. Okay, that's it for this week, and I'll speak to you again. Bye-bye.
Thank you.